Hey guys, I'm rBangerz and I'm here to read you some Reddit stories so that you don't have to. All posts will be linked in the video description, and if you'd like to support the channel, liking the video is free as well as subscribing. And don't forget to comment down below and tell me which Reddit post was your favorite. Alright guys, enjoy the video. Our first post actually comes from Redditor Shirt Problems, and the name of it is, Am I the asshole for getting mad at my sister for not wanting me shirtless at her pool? Oh, okay. Alright, so I saw this and I was gonna read it, but I was just like, oh, I'm just not gonna spoil it for myself because I just want to see where this goes. But alright. My sister and her husband invited me to their pool today for a little barbecue. I assumed it would just be me, my sister, her husband, my nephews, and my parents. Turns out they also invited her husband's side of the family. Ooh, surprise. When it was time to get in the pool, I changed into my swim trunks and removed my shirt. But my sister stopped me before I came out their house and asked me to keep my shirt on because of my scars. Oh, really? Wow, okay. Now, that was a pretty bold statement to make. She was referring to the scars from when I had my top/chest surgery. I'm a trans guy. I started transitioning 8 years ago and my surgery was 4 years ago. My scars have already faded and they're pretty well hidden under my pecs. You'd have to look really close to even notice. Oh yeah, then that's really insensitive because at that point, yeah, I think it's fair to assume that she was aware of your transition. So it's like, okay, why can't I just be my normal? I don't know. I'll keep going. I've been to their pool many times and she's never said anything before, so I was surprised. Every other guy, including my dad, were all shirtless in the pool. So, you know why? I'm not even gonna finish reading it. So if I get to, like, if I get further into it and I'm wrong, then egg on my face. But I'm just gonna throw out a guess right now. I'm just going to guess that her husband's side of the family are transphobic. Now, I'm not looking at the rest of the post, it's just my guess. So if it's anything other than that, then like I said, egg on my face, but that's just my guess. It's my guess. Alright, but let me keep reading. When I asked what the problem was with my scars, she said she was uncomfortable with her in-laws knowing I'm trans. My feelings were hurt, but I was mainly pissed. She said she didn't want her in-laws to look at her differently if they found out about me. Oh, okay, I was right. But the fact that she's choosing her in-laws' perception versus your reality, that's not cool. But, I'm not saying it reflects on her as a person. She could be a great person, but it seems like she's a little more concerned about other people's opinions than your comfortability, which, I don't know. I mean, everybody handles situations like that differently, so I'm definitely not one to judge, but, I mean, it is what it is, I guess, but let me keep reading. She told me not to make a big deal and to go with it. Oh, no. When she left, I went back inside to change because I wasn't gonna go in the pool with a shirt on. I only had the one I came wearing because I didn't expect her to ask me this. Yeah, and that's fair because I don't think anybody would have expected that. At least any reasonable person wouldn't have. My mood was soured after that, and I didn't want to be around her, so I decided to leave. Yeah, I understand. When I said bye to everyone, they were all confused since I was only there for less than an hour. My dad pulled me aside and asked why I was leaving early. I told him to ask my sister and left. An hour later, my sister called me upset because she and my dad got into a fight. Yeah, what did she expect? My parents were furious about what she had told me and they ended up leaving early too. See, that's appropriate. Now she's angry at me for ruining the barbecue and said I didn't have to cause all this drama if I only did what she had asked. But that's just unreasonable. And it's kind of, it's a little, I don't know, it's just a very bold thing to ask. Like, I get some people they may be like, well, she invited her and it's her pool, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, like I said, she had to have been aware of her situation and she could have assumed she'd at least want to go in the pool, so why couldn't she at least have said that? That would have been a possibility before she even went out of her way to go there. That's my whole point. There's like ways to go about things, and I'm not saying, and I'm definitely not justifying what her sister said or did, but I'm just like, it just wasn't appropriate in my mind. But what she said hurt me, and I was no longer in the mood to be around her or anyone else. But I didn't mean for all that to happen. Am I the asshole for getting mad at her and basically ruining their day? No, you're not, because the whole thing is you should never be shamed for your identity. You shouldn't. And I know we're in this really controversial part of the world, but people have to remember that despite what anybody wants to be or identify as or anything like that, everyone's their own individual and everyone's different, and it's important for people to know their truth is what I'm getting at. And if anyone shames you into thinking otherwise, unless you're affecting their life or anything like that, it should never even be brought up in the first place. Your identity, your personality, everything about you is unique, and you should never feel bad about it, or you should never be shamed about it. So all of that was probably jumbled. My bad, but yeah, I was just a little offended for you. So, but alright, I'm gonna hop into the next one. But thanks again for sharing it. Again, it's Shirt Problems, and their link will be in the description below. The next one is by John Wick's Dog. Pretty awesome fucking name, if I can add. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my wife for leaving her 1-year-old son home alone while he was napping? Context: our son is barely 1. I came home from work and my wife was just getting back from a run, at which point I noticed her son was in the back room sleeping. When I asked her about it, she got defensive and said it was only a mile and I never got far away from the house. I don't think that this is safe, so I got mad at her. The whole thing escalated into a fight where I told her what she did wasn't safe. Now she's mad at me, thinks I'm being a judgmental ass, and doesn't want to talk. She thinks it's no different from being outside in the backyard while he's napping, so what's the deal? Am I the asshole? So the next part is actually edited, but I'm just going to chime in really quick. You are not the asshole. Now, the reason I say that, and I mean, even whether it's running a whole perimeter or running a distance and running back, I think the thing she failed to think about was that no matter how long it takes, that's still time you're not in the house and your child is there by themselves. And that's what I'm saying. You're not the asshole because you're going about it logically. If your kid is home alone, unsupervised, you should be concerned about that. And you shouldn't be made to feel bad about it, because what you said is right. Your child's safety is more important than any activity. And at the very least, she could have at least waited for you if that's what she was going to do. So I'm actually going to read the edited part now. So I'm getting a lot of questions and concerns, so I will try and address some of them here. Some things I've already addressed in comments. We do have a running stroller and a treadmill. She used to be big into running and has lost about 100 pounds, so she's starting / wanting to go again. Props to her. That's not an easy feat to make, so definitely big ups to her. That's pretty awesome. I'm incredibly supportive of her working out, but never thought it would come to this. She also has a gym membership to go swimming or whatever. For clarification too, she says she did a mile run, and it took her 10 minutes. And after I was visibly angered, she told me she ran a circle around our house. So take that as you will. It's not the running that was a problem. Like I said, I think she's focusing more on the running part and not acknowledging the part that was time when her kid was home alone and anything could have happened even in 10 minutes. Because there's crazy people in the world, and things do happen. Some things you can't even explain, it just happens. And sometimes it only takes a second for something life-changing to happen. So it's, like I said, you're thinking about it logically, and I don't think that she was being neglectful. I just don't think she was just thinking about the bigger picture. I think that's what the problem was. So don't take this the wrong way. I don't think she was being neglectful. I think she was just more concentrated or more focused on the running aspect of it, that she didn't think about the consequences of the way she went about it. I think that's the right way of saying it. But I watch her son almost every evening, and she's free to get out of the house and do whatever. I'm constantly pushing her to hang out with friends and go have coffee breaks and all while I'm watching her son. So it's nice that you're sharing the burden, and you're pretty much encouraging her to pretty much have a life of her own, which is nice, because I think some people in relationships, once they've been together long enough, or something life-changing happens, like an experience that they go through together, it kind of makes their lives kind of intertwine in a way that they forget to have a life of their own. So the fact that you're encouraging it is pretty awesome. So while it may not be enough, I obviously need to sit and take a long look at her mental health with her. I do give her countless opportunities for her to get away, but that is her choice. Sometimes she wants to stay home and be around us. It's not just, I got the kid, you do chores. All in all, she's been an amazing mother. We were both first timers in this, but I never thought something like this would or could have happened. And I certainly didn't think I would be made out to be a bad guy. So thank you all for the questions and inputs. My wife and I will definitely be having a follow-up about this incident, as well as future conversations about what she needs to deal with her stress and what could have led to something like this happening. Edit 2. Thank you all for the amazing discussion and perspectives. We had a discussion last night, and she is seeing it from my perspective now. She broke down and cried for quite a while, and apologized for trying to blame me. It seems this was a one-off thing. She explained to me that she was excited to try some new running shoes, and didn't think about how dangerous it all was since he was napping. That being said, I'm gonna continue to provide her with opportunities galore for space and time outside of the home, to make sure nothing like this happens again. Mental health is no joke. See, and that's good, because eventually you guys met in the middle, she saw your perspective, and she realized what was wrong. And you're acknowledging that maybe that couldn't have been enough, and you're gonna try to offer more ways to get what she needs. So, all in all, I think it was a good result. And I think that you guys are actually gonna be great parents, because you guys know how to work together and figure things out. And it just didn't end with her just arguing and it's like either my way or the highway and you're a dick and fuck you kind of situation. So yeah, I think that was a good conclusion to that, and I wish you guys the best. So thank you for letting me share that. Am I the asshole for locking my son out? By Spinach Spider. My son and daughter are 18 for context. My son has been bullying his sister lately. Apparently, he overheard her talking about getting a boob job. She says she was not even serious about getting her boobs done, not that it matters. Since then, my son keeps teasing her about it. He calls her nicknames like, for example, Flat, Lil Tits, and Pancake Chest. He sent her a picture of an A-cup bra. She wears C-cup bras. Well, that's not cool. Don't make her feel self-conscious about things like that. I told him I had talks with him multiple times about how he needs to stop making fun of her boobs, and embarrasses his sister. She always gets upset, and I can tell it makes her feel insecure. She used to sometimes wear sports bras and tank tops around the house, but stopped for a while. My son stopped for a couple of weeks, and she started dressing more usual for her at home. My son made fun of her when she had a shirt on or a tank top / sports bra. It didn't really change his behavior either way. Me and my daughter were standing at the door when my son had arrived. My daughter was wearing a sports bra and no shirt over it. While he was walking through the porch, he said to his sister that she would have to wear nothing but 2 post-it notes on her chest to show even a little bit of cleavage. Oh, that's horrible. And when he said that, I slammed the door and locked it. I said he was not welcome in here. I wanted to make sure my daughter was okay and protect her from his comments for a few hours before letting him in. He sat in his car. See, good for you, like sticking up for your daughter, man. That was a pretty boss move, if I say so myself, because you don't just let one sibling pick on the other. You don't, especially something that can affect their mental health. So that was a pretty pro dad move for you, dude. I like that. When my wife got home, we let him in. My wife was very angry at me for locking my son out, even after explaining what happened. My wife said I am overreacting to sibling teasing. I thought my wife would be on my side, since not only does she obviously have tits too, but she used to struggle with her body image. My daughter just called me a good dad. I have been calling her beautiful sometimes too to try to help. Non-physical compliments too, of course. Oh, see, that is awesome. I like that, because it's like really important for you to like maintain somebody's mental health, especially when they're developing, because I know during the teenage years and even after, like for guys and girls, developing is such like weird, uncomfortable period where so many things are happening and they just don't know what to do with themselves or how to adjust to, and it sounds like you're being really awesome about supporting her through it. So that was pretty awesome. And even like after like those years, some people still aren't comfortable with their body, which is something that people often than not have to usually come to terms with themselves. And usually when they don't, that's when you see people opting for these body modifications. Mainly, like, some people do genuinely do it for themselves, but a lot of times it's also a result of like their environment and how other people perceive them. So I think you handled that pretty well. Edit. Me and my wife agreed to take our son's car keys and phone away until he apologizes to his sister, drops the demeaning comments, and treats his sister and everyone with respect for a month. Yep, it's reasonable. After the month, if he disrespects her again, we will reinstate the punishment and consider kicking him out. Woo! Okay, we're just going there. We asked him why he thinks it's okay to talk about his sister's boobs, and he didn't have an answer. I asked him why he's so interested in his sister's tits, and he got embarrassed. How the turns tabled. Oh my gosh. Me and my wife had a talk with her daughter about how she is perfect and beautiful the way she is. Nice, nice. I told her men love C-cups and are not picky with boobs. C-cup is not small. Most women seem to wish they were a C-cup. If she had bigger boobs, it could cause her problems like giving her back pain. Future partners that really care for her will think her body is perfect and will like her boobs. And it's not okay for men to treat her disrespectfully like that. We are getting therapy for both of them too. Alright, that was a pretty wholesome post. So thanks again for sharing this with me, man. And as always, posts will be linked in the description, so go show him some love for that, because he's pretty awesome for that. So alright, let me hop into the next one. Alright, the last post comes from Redditor Folto3, and the title is, "Am I the asshole for no longer cutting a neighbor's grass?" I've been cutting my neighbor's lawn for like 2-3 years. They live like 6 houses down, and they're in their 60s. I started doing it for them for free years ago, as the guy said to me that he had issues doing it, and it was hard on him. So I just offered it, and they took the offer. I don't mind doing it, and it doesn't take very long as they don't have much of a yard, and I do it once I'm done with my own yard. Now the issue is that 3 weeks ago, they had landscaping done in the backyard and had a garden put in. As per usual, 2 weeks ago, I went to go cut it, and apparently grass got into the garden. The dude comes over to my place later that night, knocks on my door, and basically tells me that next time I need to be more careful because his garden's beautiful and he doesn't appreciate me fucking it up. Oh, see, that takes a lot of fucking nerve, because if you just offer to do it for him, he's pretty much getting free labor. So at that point, he may as well just hire somebody to do it for him if he's that worried. I thought the guy was joking at first, so I offered to blow the grass from around his garden for him. And then he really started getting up in my shit and tells me that unless I want to pay to have his garden redone, I need to respect his fucking wishes. See, at that point, then I would start charging him, or I told him to fuck off. That's not cool. I basically just told him to go fuck himself. Yep, there you go. And that if he wants it done right to his standards, then he can do it. I haven't cut the grass in a couple weeks, and yesterday the guy comes over to me while I was out in my yard and asked me when I'm gonna cut his. See, how about no? Tell him that I'm done doing it unless he can apologize and realize that I don't have to be doing it for free. Yeah, that's true. Shoot, you're nice, because see, I would already assume that people would be an asshole about that eventually if you don't do it the way they want to. And the fact that you're doing it for free, he should just say thanks, and if anything's fucked up, he can just like fix whatever's fucked up. But I mean, that's just not cool. And I'm going out of my way, but he refused to and said I should be apologizing. Bullshit. Apparently, get this, he's gonna call the cops on me for false implication that I was going to cut his grass. Can you actually do that? I don't think you can actually do that. Especially like if you have neighbors, they're actually witnesses. Let's say he could do that. Best case scenario, he could just like piss you off on his end, because as long as you have witnesses and testimonies that you're doing it for him for free because he's old and he's an asshole, I think you'll be okay. I told him to get the fuck away from my house and to leave me and my family alone until he can grow a fucking brain. I'm being told by my family members that I could have handled it a bit differently. Oh no, I think you're good, sir. And that I shouldn't have been that upfront with him as he's old. Old doesn't excuse being an asshole, it really doesn't. But I don't think being old means you can be a dick. Am I the asshole here? No, you are not. You are actually a good person for offering that old ass like that favor. I don't think you're an asshole in this situation. But alright, I'm ending the video here. Thanks again to Folto3 for letting me use this post, and to all the original posters. I'm gonna link all of their things down below. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.